Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. This is following on from our first webinar we did around understanding your invoice. In this one, we're going to break down in more depth a bit more about when you are paying commission for a first-time customer, something called the lifetime value, which Kate is going to go through today. And hopefully you find it super useful and it gives you a really great understanding of what actually goes on behind the scenes and how we work together to provide you with a great support network and being able to support you with customers and making sure that you're making your money back and how that works. So just before we get started, just a brief introduction. My name is Sophie and I'm one of the account managers here. I'm one of the trainers in the UK.
And my name is Kate and I'm the training team lead for the UK.
Perfect. So on today's webinar, what we're going to be covering is the cost of a new customer and a bit more about the lifetime value, which I mentioned briefly a second ago. Then we're going to go through how to make the most of your partnership with us and some really good hints and tips, and then just go following on just some key takeaways to end us on. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand you over to Kate, who's going to take you through the cost of a new customer.
Perfect. Thank you, Sophie. So as if you've watched our previous webinar, which was just breaking down the invoice that comes to you on the 1st and the 16th of every month, we did touch upon the cost of the acquisition costs that we present to our partners for acquiring them a new customer via the Treatwell marketplace, which, as you guys all know, is 35% plus VAT. We realise that when you're a new partner, particularly, or if you've not used the partnership to its full potential before and now you are beginning to, you may actually find that you are acquiring more customers that are new than you had done before, and it can feel a little bit costly on your invoice. So we do get a lot of questions about that, and we understand that it can be a little bit unsettling. So I wanted to just break down what the cost of a new customer actually looks like, and it's a business model that so many businesses use, and we even use it ourselves, as to how much it actually costs to acquire us a new customer. So it's an interesting point to look at as how much customer acquisition would actually cost you if you were doing it on its own at the same volume versus with a Treatwell partnership. And hopefully it will then start to feel like the partnership makes a lot of sense to you. So first of all, what is the cost of acquiring a customer? So broken down, it's basically your marketing spend. So marketing spend being anything that you are spending money on in order to drive business to your platform. So whether that's any marketing tools, ads that you're doing, a website, everything that involves marketing is your marketing spend. Plus the cost of your time. So everything that requires effort will also require time going into it, and your time costs money. So that also needs to be included into the cost. And then that's divided by the number of customers that you've actually gained in the time frame that you're looking at. So in our industry, what are the most popular channels of new customer acquisitions? So they're all things you're probably very familiar with. So number one is websites with paid searches and ads, so having your own website. The second one is social media, so Facebook, Instagram, all of the social media channels, again with some ads added to it so that you are appearing in more customers' viewings. And the last one is the classic pen and paper version, which is leaflets and flyers. So that's just boots on the ground, going out and delivering leaflets and flyers to your local area to try and encourage people into your salon at that time. So I'm going to break down what each of these individual ways of acquiring a new customer actually can look like they cost. So with websites and paid searches, which is the most popular one that a lot of our industry go for, there's a lot to take into consideration in terms of the marketing spend. So firstly, how much does your website actually cost to run? I know that they don't have to be super expensive, but they still have a cost added to them. I've been self-employed before, and the website that I had cost, I think, about £90 a year. It was a paid one. You can get free ones, but the free ones tend to come with pre-built templates and you can't customize them very much. So the membership for mine was £90 per year. It meant that I got more control over how my website looked. I got some analytics to be able to see what the traffic looked like. But I did have to build a lot of that myself. So I would say, taking the time into consideration, I probably spent past the point of actually building the website. So the website took a while to build, but on average, it was maybe an hour a week that I would spend just looking at my website and adding things and managing my website. So if I was to take all of those costs into consideration, like the national living wage as an example for how much I'm paying myself, plus how much the website actually costs, it works out to be about £7.50 a month, which doesn't sound a lot, but when it all adds up to what I'm actually getting as a return to that, it can be quite costly, especially as for my time, that's me not paying myself a particularly high salary either. There's then also Google AdWords. So you can use marketing tools such as Google Ads in order to bump your website to the top of the search results on Google. So we use Google AdWords at Treatwell in order to get you more visibility. But the way that Google AdWords work is something called PPC, pay-per-click. So you're basically bidding for a spot, first of all. So you're competing for advertising space against your business competitors in Google to get the highest spot or another one. And then you're paying for every single time someone clicks on that ad as well. So as an average look at that model, the average conversion of PPC is around about 0.5 to 3%. So it's quite small, but if you think how much traffic comes through Google, it's actually quite significant that you can get the results from there. The average cost per click can be relatively interchangeable. So it averages out about £1.95 per click, but as it's bidding, it can go up and it can go down. So this is just an average as a case study. So if you were to get 1,000 clicks on your ad, which is advertising your website, that would already cost you £1,950. And that's not even taking into consideration anyone that might book, for example. If you were to then look at the conversion from those clicks, so by conversion, we mean how many of those clicks are converting into customers. As I said, the average is between 0.5 and 3%. So I'm going to be generous and go for the 3%, the higher of the averages, and say you got 30 new customers through those 1,000 clicks. In our industry, the average spend is around about £30. Obviously, it could be more than that, depending on the kind of services you offer, but those services also tend to require a little bit more time as well. So you might not get as many customers as a result. But as an average, let's say you get 30 new customers at a £30 spend. Taking all of these costs that it's taken to gain those 30 customers into consideration, you are actually running at a loss of £65 per customer because you've had to spend so much on marketing time and the time that's spent for you to set that up in order to get them through the door. So you're coming away at a loss, and that's not including any additional website costs that you might have in place, such as adding software for that customer to even be able to book in online with you. So the website, although can be quite successful when done properly, can be a very, very, very expensive tool to get new customers in, and it will require you to get a lot of new customers through the door to make that a worthwhile spend to have. So the next one is social media. So social media has become a more popular way, especially presently, to advertise your business online, because social media accounts are free. So that already cancels out a cost that your website's going to give you. It costs money to set up a website. It doesn't cost anything to set up your social media account. So that's already an added bonus. But the way to get yourself seen on social media is slightly different. So there are ways in which you can play with the algorithms of the likes of Instagram, for example, where you're more likely to be seen by your targeted audience, and you can then increase your engagement and increase your reach. But they require a lot of time spent on them, a lot of time, a lot of know-how into how the algorithm works and how to drive engagement with that particular following. So you will end up actually spending an awful lot of your time, which will cost you money, getting your account to that kind of level, or employing someone to do it for you, which again will cost you money in a salary. So another way that a lot of people do it is through the use of PPC, so social media ads. They work in a very similar way in which you are competing for advertising space. So that's on both Facebook and Instagram. But with Facebook and Instagram, you're not just competing with your business competitors. So you're not just competing with other people with the same business model as you, you're also competing with every single business that has the same target audience as you. So that's ginormous. So they can actually be quite expensive to get the best spot in a social media ad space. The conversion works out to be about the same as on Google, so between 0.5 and 3%. For the beauty industry, hair and beauty specifically, the average cost per click interchangeable, again, because it's bidding, can range from 79 pence up to £1.30. But there's more traffic, a lot more that can come through this. So I've upped the average of clicks. So let's say you get 2,000 clicks based on the lower average cost per click, which is 79 pence. That's already going to cost you £1,580 to get 2,000 clicks on your ad, which is still a very small amount of ad clicks you can expect from doing an ad on this kind of campaign. If you were to get 30 new customers from that at a £30 average transaction value, you're still losing £22.60 per customer, which is less than on the website, but all of these little things can add up, and your time, more than anything, will be your biggest cost when it comes to social media, because you need to spend a lot of time on it in order to drive engagement to those particular channels. And then the last one is leaflets and flyering. So if you were to print 500 leaflets, which around about costs £20 or so, looking at an average on the market, you then also need to distribute them. So you need to get staff involved to actually go around and give out the leaflets to all the various businesses or houses or wherever you're going to let people know about your business. Say on average, you're spending 2 hours for 2 employees handing out those flyers. The national living wage, if you're paying them that, is £8.61. So I'm just taking that as a lower point in which an employee could be paid. Times 4 for the hours spent distributing the leaflets instead of working at the salon. You're looking at a grand total of £50.44 spent per customer. It's much more difficult to know what the conversion is for this kind of stuff, as a lot of your customers will probably be online these days, but it's still an awful lot of money to invest per customer. So you would want each customer you get back to be spending £50.44 in order for you to make a return on that. And good thing to note about all of these online channels where you can advertise is just to think of it in a way that if we at Treatwell were to charge you per click to your profile per 30 days instead of commission, that would be a lot more pricey, as we actually get more target user searches on Treatwell about the hair and beauty industry than Google itself. So if we were going to adopt the same model that our competitors might be in order offering you a marketing solution, and we charged you per click, it would actually be a way more expensive model than us just charging you for that acquisition cost of getting that customer through the door, especially as we are advertising on Google for you. So we have things like the AdWords, we have Facebook ads, we are enabling and paying for all of this stuff in order to get customers to our business so that they in turn find your business. I hope all of that makes sense. Would you have anything to add on that, Sophie? It's quite mind-boggling when you add it all up like that.
It is, but I think that's covered everything there. And I think, as you said, especially when we're looking at sort of the latter and the impact of the fact that we're getting more searches, it just speaks volumes. And I think it's a really great thing for you guys to know, because you may not necessarily know about that. And it's just a great way to look at it.
So the next part is exploring lifetime value. So it's all well and good getting a new customer through the door, but it will always be expensive if the only customers you get through your door are new customers, because whichever way you try and get new customers through the door, it's going to cost you money to get them there. Unfortunately, you have to do some form of marketing to get people to find out about your business. But we just want to help you in terms of increasing the lifetime value of those clients. So what we mean by lifetime value is how much that customer is actually costing you throughout their customer life cycle. So by them coming back again, that should cost you less money, which means the more times that customer comes back and spends money in your salon, you are then going to make a profit from them eventually. But you want to make sure they're coming back often, and you want to make sure that you're not spending as much money as you did acquiring them to get them back. And that's quite a big key thing to remember. So the cost of acquisition should always be significantly less than the lifetime value that that customer has to offer. So I'll try and spin that in a way that makes a bit more sense. If I'm looking at it from a Treatwell perspective, this is how we help to drive lifetime value within your salon. So yes, we have the 35% acquisition cost when that customer first comes in. So if the first time that customer finds you, they come in, they spend £30, you pay us £10.50 in commission. So you're still making a profit because you're still getting the most part of that booking, but you pay £10.50 to us. So it feels a little bit more expensive because you'd normally be charging £30. We appreciate that in our industry, the overheads can be very, very tight as well. So it can almost feel like, oh, am I making a loss here? But it's looking at the bigger picture, which will see that this is how you're going to grow your business. The next time that customer comes in, you're spending nothing, or just a 60% fee if they are paying online. So you would be paying a fee whether they were paying by card in your salon or paying online beforehand. So we just take that off of your hands, and you would pay 60 pence, the 2% handling fee for the transaction, or you would pay absolutely nothing. So you are already making a profit from that customer. You want them to then come back again, they spend another £30, you're then paying nothing for that, and so on and so forth. So if someone came in 4 times over a year and they spent, that amount of money, £120 with you, you've only spent £10.50 or £10.50 plus those 60 pence charges to get that customer in 4 times. So it's a very, very good investment, and you can soon see actually that's made me a lot of money because I only spent £10.50 to get that customer through my door. So breaking down further, as I said, a customer returning 4 times will cost you £10.50 plus VAT and commission fees and £2.40 in processing fees. So you make a grand total of £104.52 out of a possible £120. If you were spending the amount that PPC pays, for example, per customer, you would be on a much lower profit margin, because if you were spending £60 to get that customer in, you only made £120. You're only making half of that back within a year. Whereas this way, we're only charging you that first time they come in. We're not charging you to get them back. You will always end up, the more times that customer comes back, being way, way better off. So I'm going to hand back over to Sophie, and she's going to show you a few of the other options that we have in the partnership, which we do to help drive that lifetime value specifically. So as I said, it costs money to retain clients as well as gain new ones. And that's another cost that you may not think that you need to consider, but we have a lot of these retention tools built into your partnership so that it won't actually cost you anything extra to get these customers back through the door.
Great, thanks, Kate. So let's dive straight in and have a look, as Kate mentioned, at some of these options. So as she mentioned, any customers that book through the options that we're about to go through, regardless of whether they are a new customer or a repeat, it will only ever be the 2% admin or 0%, depending on how they're choosing to pay. So it's a fantastic way of getting that lifetime value even quicker. So it's something that we're going to support you with. So we want to make sure that you're taking the absolute advantage of all of these, and they're super, super easy to get set up. And if you have any questions, we're here to support and help you get them going. So the first one is going to be adding book now buttons to your website and social media. So we call them booking widgets on your invoice, as you may have seen previously. But it means that people can book with you 24 hours a day. As Kate mentioned, social media is already free. So it's a great way for you to be able to build an audience and followers and have a call to action wherever they look. And I think that's super, super important. Is what we want to help you do at Treatwell is remove all barriers to booking. And the way that we do that is make sure that wherever they look, there is a call to action for them to come and book in with you. So we can have your book now button on your Instagram, on your Facebook, and on Messenger, and on your website. So any way they go to communicate with you, there's a call to action there, and it's going to take them straight to your menu. So it's super easy, and they can go from looking to booking within about 2 minutes, and then it's all booked in and confirmed. So it's super easy, and it's going to take away admin. So as Kate mentioned, when you're having a look at admin costs as well, You can take away people having to answer phones or to book people in. It does all of the work for you, and all of these tools will do that. It will remove all of the admin that you would need to do when having to make phone calls, listen to voicemails. And that's another tip that we do. If you do have a voicemail, direct them to your website or social media pages. If you've got a book now button on there, it means that they're not having to wait to book their appointment in, and it's directing them again, so it's less admin for you guys. We also have your own Treatwell client app. So I'm sure that some of you or have had a look at having your own app built. It is incredibly expensive, and it's not just a one-off cost. There is the constant upkeep of keeping that app up to date and updating with any changes that you need to make. So although great and a great selling point, it's incredibly expensive. We actually provide you with what we call your own client app. So the way that it works is it's the Treatwell app for clients, but we have your own specific link that is found within Connect, within the marketing tab for you. And what you can do is you can send people this link. When they download the Treatwell Connect app, you are pinned at the top. So it's like having your own app. Every time they open it, a picture of your salon is going to appear. And it's going to look like the one on the left, really, where it says, it's been a while. Is it time for another visit? Let's get you booked in. It may be that you've booked a recent service and it says, is it time for a full head of highlights again? Which I know that I desperately need at the moment. So I can literally just click the book me in button, takes me straight to the services to book in, and they will be booked in within a minute. But it means that if someone doesn't have their diary on them, it doesn't matter, because they have access to you immediately within Treatwell Connect. And as I mentioned, you are always pinned to the top. You are the favorite salon. So you are always going to appear at the top. And that's at no extra cost to you. You can put that link wherever you want. So if you wanted to do a Facebook status update or put it on your website, if you want to download our version of the Treatwell app, click here. Anyone that books that link, again, regardless of whether they've booked with you before or they are brand new, you will never get charged the 35% plus VAT. It's either going to be the 2% if they prepay or 0% if they pay at the venue. People that book through the app, it is a win-win. They book more, they leave more reviews, and you will get more new clients that book with you. So do consider taking advantage of that. And again, you will find all of the information you need within Treatwell Connect, within your marketing tab. Something that has become increasingly popular recently is QR codes. This is the one thing that you won't find at the moment within Treatwell Connect, but you can reach out to us and we can get this, your own QR code printed, sort of created for you. And again, you can plaster this wherever you want. So I have seen them more frequently in restaurants, on cereal packets, and it's just so easy to use. They are literally everywhere. So we want to make the same thing. So we want you to be accessible anywhere and really easy to find. So you could put this poster, for example, in your salon window. When it's out of hours and someone's wandering past, they just need to open their phone, open their camera, and it will automatically bring up your Treatwell menu. It's a great way for people to have a paperless menu as well. They can just scan the app and they can look at all of your prices immediately. But it's going to give you contactless bookings. It's linked to your book now button. So again, commission free, regardless of whether they are new or repeat. And again, it's saving admin time. So it's not something that you or the team need to do. You could even have it on a business card if you wanted to. So you could give them the business card and then they just scan that and it takes them straight to be able to book in an appointment. But again, super, super easy for you and the team to be able to take advantage of, to be able to get that lifetime value down, and for you to be getting more bookings through the door. And that was all that I wanted to cover, guys. Hopefully some really top tips there that you can take advantage of, that you can use to your advantage. As I mentioned before, we're absolutely here. So if you have any questions or can't quite get your Book Now button set up or want some advice, do reach out to us in the customer care team so that we can help you with that. But I'll hand back over to Kate just for a final run through.
I think the most important part to remember, and thank you for all of that, Sophie, super useful. Hopefully it's enlightened you guys watching to something that you may not have installed already. But I think a really important part to remember from us is that we are here to work with you and not against you. So all of these tools are not there for us to, have access to your clients, to be able to market to them or anything like that. Our vision and our goal for you is really customer focused, just like yours is. A customer with a 360 view of being able to book with a salon and being able to book in whichever way they want to, at whatever time they want to, is a customer that will book more often. A customer that will book more often will be more profitable for you. And we don't want to fight against you and, you know, us trying to get customers and you trying to get the same customers and book through the different means of booking. But just by having it all in one, and our pricing is very transparent like that. Like, if one of your customers happens to find you on Treatwell and books you via Treatwell and they're in your client list, and they haven't been to you in a long while, you're not going to pay for that customer. We are aware that they're one of yours, and we're more than happy to help accommodate that booking for you. The same as Sophie mentioned with the client app. Anyone that books via that app referral link, even if they are new to Treatwell, will not be charged that 35% fee to you. So we really are here to try and increase your lifetime value, increase your customer spend as much as possible, and help your customers to come back more often. And online is the way to do it. Customers that have online booking are more likely to book more often than those that don't, as it's just so much easier. And I think that we've all learned through living through the pandemic that online is such an easier way. More people are adopting the way of working. People that I never thought would be adopting online are suddenly booking online for everything. My grandma recently got online banking at the age of 85 because the pandemic has forced her to. So I think that it's definitely the way forward, and you will see good results from it. But hopefully that has helped to explain to you the value of the partnership and how we really are helping you to keep those marketing costs down. But please do reach out if there is anything that we can do to help to set up any of these little bits that will help you along the way. And thank you very much for tuning in today.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.